man came to Mother Teresa's house to tell her that a Hindu family with 8 children had not eaten anything for days. They had nothing to eat and were severely starving. Immediately, Mother Teresa took enough rice for a meal and went to the starving Hindu house. Mother Teresa could see the starving, hungry faces, and it made her tear up with sadness. The mother of those children took the rice from Mother Teresa with immense gratitude, then divided it in half, and went outside without even feeding the family. When she came back a little later, Mother Teresa asked her, Where did you go? What did you do with the half of the rice?" The starving mom answered, "My next door Muslim neighbor has 8 children just like us, and they are as hungry as us. We had nothing to share with them before you brought this rice for us today. I am so grateful and happy to have received this rice from you that I wanted to share it with our starving neighbors so that they also feel the same joy that you brought us with this rice." Upon hearing those words, Mother Teresa's eyes were filled with tears of happiness. There are so many things we learn from this story. 1. There is only one true religion in this world, religion of humanity. 2. Love all, serve all. 3. Sharing is caring. 4. Last but not the least, compassion is a key to service. Hari Om.
Next up, we have Krishna 08, Ashwin Shrikant, Grade 1, Sunday AM, Story of Shravan Kumar.
What? Hari Om. My name is Ashwin, and today I'm going to tell the story of Shravan Kumar. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Shravan Kumar. He lived with his mom and dad, who were blind. He came from a poor family. He would do all the daily chores for them and took care of them very well. He would cook for them, and he would bring wood from the forest, and he would also bring water from the nearby lake. One day, Shravan Kumar overheard that his parents wanted to go on a pilgrimage, so there was no car or bus that time. Since they were poor, they could afford any modes of travel like horse carriages. So he had an idea one day. He grabbed a bamboo stick, a rope, and 2 baskets. He tied one basket on one side of the stick. He tied the other basket on the other side of the stick. And then he put his dad on one side of the basket. He put his mom on the other side of the basket. And then he carried him on his shoulder. Of India. Then as they were finishing the end of the pilgrimage, his parents got thirsty. And so he put down the basket and then he went to get some water from the nearby And then, so, the area belonged to King Dashrath. He was a great archer. He would shoot the arrow wherever the sound was coming from. He was hunting in the forest that day on his horse. And then he he heard a sound near the lake and shot it. And then someone was crying in pain, and it didn't sound like a deer. He rushed to see what happened. The arrow had pierced in Shravan Kumar's heart. And then King Dashrath said, "Oh no, what have I done?" And then Shravan Kumar said, "Could you please give some water to my thirsty parents who are lonely in the forest and blind?" and then Shravan Kumar died. King Dashrath went to give some water to his parents and explained what happened. He said, King Dashrath said, "Could you please forgive me? I'm so sorry that I killed your only son." And then his parents were shocked to see what happened and were crying to lose their only son and hope. His father cursed King Dashrath, saying, "You killed your only son, so you'll die Putravyog." And then King Dashrath faced Putravyog when Rama exiled to the forest for 14 years. God were happy with Shravan Kumar for selfless seva and devotion to his parents and made him a celestial star. Shravan Nakshatra will live forever. The moral of the story is to always take care of your parents, because doing seva for your parents is like doing seva for God. Hari Om.
Next up, we have Krishna 07, Anushka Joshi, Kindergarten Sunday AM, Hanuman Seva.
Hari Om. My name is Anushka Joshi. Today I'm going to tell you how Lord Hanuman learned about Seva, how it helped him do the impossible. Seva means to help and share all things with others. Hanuman's name is also Anjaneya, son of Mother Anjana. Once Anjana asked Hanuman which was stronger, water or a rock. Hanuman chose the rock, of course. Rock is boy and water is girl. Boys are stronger on the outside, but the girl's power comes from within. From bhakti, sacrifice, and seva. Just like water, although it is soft, it can break rock mountains. Hanuman also went to the sun god. The sun couldn't stop for even a second to teach him. But Hanuman, full of girl power, stood before the sun in the namaskar pose and flew backwards to keep up with the moving sun. The sun, impressed with the seva, taught him all about life for a whole year. To honor his guru, he created yoga poses called Surya Namaskar. The first step of Surya Namaskar is Pranam Asan. Doing Pranam Asan brings awareness to our heart, and in Bhakti gives gives us the spirit of Seva. To do Seva, we should choose to serve. If we are forced to serve, it is not called Seva. So we should be careful in choosing whom and what we serve in life. Lord Hanuman offered Lord Ram is Seva because he was great, and Lord Ram loved him back. When everyone failed to find Sita in India, Hanuman decided to search for her in Lanka, which was across the sea. But how will he cross the sea? He remembered his gold power and found a way. Hanuman took Ram's name and leaped through the air. And landed in Lanka. He was able to find Sita. This leap of Seva and Bhakti is called the Hanumanasana Yoga pose. From all the stories of Lord Hanuman, we learn that we fully serve something greater than ourselves. We become greater than we were before. All of us have the gold power. That is the power to serve, to nurse, to love, and to always keep trying. Seva and Bhakti are real tests of strength. Thank you.
Wonderful story. Next up, we have Madhava 09. Sianshi Jina, grade 3, Sunday AM, Ram and Shabari.
Hi, my name is Sia, and I'm 8 years old. I'm in 3rd grade, and I'm overjoyed to tell you a nice story today called Ram and Shabari. I hope you all enjoy. Shabari was a very nice tribal girl living in the forest with her mom and dad and all the other tribal people. But they all loved to eat meat, but she likes animals, so she never ate meat. So before her wedding, she knew on the wedding days they had to sacrifice animals in front of them. So she ran away from the forest. Luckily, she found Matanga Muni's ashram very close by. She thought maybe I'll be safe here. She asked Matanga Muni if she could stay there, and Matanga Muni kindly said, of course. She learned how to do meditation and everything divine. One day, Matanga Muni said, I have become very old and I have to go do Mahasamadhi very soon. So Shabari kindly asked if she could go with him to attain salvation. But Matanga Muni said, no, your time will come when Rama comes to your doorstep and blesses you, and only then you will attain salvation. After years and years of waiting, she decided, why not keep herself entertained? She said maybe Ram will be very hungry when he comes to her doorstep. So every day she picked berries. These berries are nice. If she said that, she would put them in a tiny basket. Ooh, these berries are sour. She would throw them away somewhere. After years and years of waiting, Ram and Lakshmana finally came to her doorstep and told her they were trying to find Ram's wife, Sita, who had been abducted by the demon king Ravan. Shabari was very, very happy and had happy tears rolling down her cheeks. She offered them a very nice seat and washed their feet very happily. Then she ran into the ashram and got the bowl of berries that she collected over the years. Just before Rama was about to take a bite, Lakshmana stopped him and said, "Brother, don't eat those. Those are half eaten. Remember, offerings should never ever be half eaten." But Rama shrugged and took a bite anyway. Shabari was overjoyed and took the blessings of Ram and said, "I will attain salvation now." Rama was very happy and left the ashram in peace. But then, when they were going to the mountains, Lakshmana asked Rama why he ate those half-eaten berries. Rama said because they're full of Shabari's love and devotion. Lakshmana understood. Wow, that was a great story. The moral of this story is the devotion is infinite. Hari Om.
That was a wonderful story. Next up, we have Madhava 10, Nia Panchari, Grade 2, Friday p.m., Krishna and Yashoda.
Hari Om, my name is Niyam. The story's name is Krishna and Yashoda. One day, there was a little boy named Krishna. Another day, it was Krishna's birthday. Yashoda called Krishna to the courtyard. Yashoda said that Krishna go out and find a female calf. Krishna went out and saw a beautiful white calf. Krishna carefully went near the calf to catch him, but the calf was too quick to catch. Krishna ran and ran until the calf got tired. Then Krishna finally caught him and brought him to the courtyard. Then Krishna saw a pot. He knew the pot was full of butter. There was no ladder or anything to climb to reach the pot of butter. Krishna then thought, if I climb on this calf, I can reach the pot of butter. Krishna climbed on the calf, and it was tall enough to put his hand in the pot of butter. He ate the butter. Then suddenly, the calf ran away. Krishna cried, "Mother, mother, please help me. Mother, mother, please help me." Mother came and saw what had happened. She laughed. She said, "I will not help you, Krishna." Krishna cried again, "Mother, mother, please help me. Mother, mother, please help me." Then Yashoda came and picked Krishna off from the pot. Even though Krishna was a naughty boy, Yashoda always loved Krishna's beautiful smile, his face, and his lovely hair. Thank you.
Next up, we have Madhava 19, Rita Saraf, Grade 4, Friday p.m., Udanka. Madhava never mind. Gopal 7, Shivan Srinivas, Grade 9, Sunday a.m., Seva.
Can you hear me? Howdy, everyone. Today, Howdy, everyone. Today I will be talking about two concepts, seva and bhakti. Seva, directly translated into English, is service. And service can be many things. It can be cooking for the kitchen, it can be doing CYSP, it can be cleaning for gurus and things like that. And as a high schooler, I know many high schoolers looking for the community service hours from various things. But let me ask you something. Is seva still seva even if it doesn't come out as you want? Maybe people don't like your food. Maybe you ran out of budget. Maybe your work is cancelled. You are unable. The people don't give you something. Then is it still seva? To answer this, we need to look at something very important: the power of expectations. When we expect something, we condition ourselves to only be happy if our expectations are met, and only to be sad when they are not met. And this can have a very negative effect on our ability because we are naturally happy. We put up a mental barrier to happiness in the form of our expectations. In the Gita, chapter 2, Krishna says, Karma nyeva dikaraste ma phaleshu kadachna ma karma phalahetur bhuhu mate sangosta karmani. Thus, we should be attached to doing our actions, but not to the results of those actions. And if we keep getting wound up in the results of our actions, then we will end up being unhappy, because why should we be attaching our happiness to something we cannot control? So when we return to seva, we realize then that seva is not just about service, it is about service to improve oneself. The values of hard work, dedication, patience, and valor are all important that we learn in seva, and that is the true reward of seva, and that is what allows us to tap into happiness. On the other hand, we have bhakti, which seems different. It is devotion, but in reality is very similar to seva. Bhakti is not just any devotion. Bhakti is devotion that is eternal. It does not come because of a good result, and it does not go because of a bad result. In the Gita, it said that what is true does not cease, and what ceases is not true. Thus, bhakti is something that must always be there, even in times of hardship or times of triumph. Bhakti always remains. A story about this I can tell you is a story of Pradoshan Mama. Pradoshan Mama was a poor railway worker who lived in Chennai, and he had very little money. He was working just to feed his 2 children and his wife. He was working very hard to make sure ends met. But he had a very special dedication to Mahaperiyava, who was a guru in the lineage of Adi Shankara. And he would constantly be trying, he was a Shiva devotee, and he believed Shiva was reincarnated in the form of Mahaperiyava. So twice a month, 13th day, the Pradosham is the 13th day of the waxing or waning phase of the moon. So twice per month, he would go during Pradosham, and he would find Adi Shankara, he would find Mahaperiyava, and he would just be devoted. He would worship Mahaperiyava, and he would not ask for anything in return. He would not ask for a blessing. He would not ask for great riches. He would just go, and he would come back. And thus, he would never gain anything from this. And yet, he was still happy. He was still happy throughout all his life. As long as he was devoted, he was happy. You have to ask, why was he happy? He was ultimately happy because he was devoted, and that happiness, his natural state is in bliss, was because he was devoted, and his devotion allowed him to be happy, not requiring an external force to make him happy. Thus, we can see in our seva and our bhakti here in Chinmaya Mission, we can tell that we should not be relying on external quantifiers of our success or our worth. We should be relying on that internal happiness that we can achieve via good seva and good bhakti. Thank you.
Great job. Next up, we have Madhava 19, Vida Saraf, grade 4, Friday p.m., Udanka. Rida Saraf. Rida, R-I-D-A. Rida. Yeah.
Her name is, same number is
Okay. Yeah.
good. Say
Hari Om. Hari Om. Can I start? What? Okay. Okay. Hari Om. This is Rida Saraf,
and I'd like to narrate a story about the sage Uddalaka. A long time ago, there were ashrams that practiced karma yoga, the art of selfless service through action. In one of those ashrams lived a guru called Dhaumya. He had three disciples named Aruni, Veda, and Upamanyu. One day during the monsoon, the rain was falling so heavily that Dhaumya was worried in case the paddy fields would burst their banks. If the water was lost from any fields, the plants would dry up. So, Dhaumya sent Aruni to check out all the fields. Even though it was raining so heavily, Aruni set off to do his guru's bidding. He came across a large field with a big hole in its bank. The water was gushing at a terrifying rate. First, Aruni tried to plug up the hole with mud, but each time it was washed away. Aruni felt helpless and was upset that he couldn't complete his guru's wish. Then, suddenly an idea came to him. He used his own body to cover the gaping hole, and soon the water began to fill. By the end of the day, the water was filled and the rain was still beating down. By the time night fell, Aruni could not move because his man-made dam would burst. So then Dhaumya realized that Aruni hadn't come back from the fields. So he gathered his disciples armed with lanterns and set off to search Aruni. They searched everywhere but could not find Aruni. Then Dhaumya said, "Where are you, my dear son, Aruni?" Close by the wall, Aruni replied, "I'm here, Gurudev," in a feeble voice. Gurudev was very happy to see his mud-covered disciple. Dhaumya saw how Aruni had saved the wall by physical strength and utter dedication. Dhaumya blessed Aruni by saying, "You'll be known as the greatest disciple in the world. Since you have placed yourself in the hole to save the water, you will be known as Uddalaka, the one who arose out of a dam." Dhaumya also gave a boon to know all of the knowledge without studying, and the secret scriptures will be revealed to him, and he will also get prosperity and enlightenment. The boon was fulfilled, and now today Aruni is famous as Uddalaka, the sage Uddalaka, and his teachings are a part of Upanishads. So from this story, we see by obeying our guru's orders no matter what, in the true spirits of Guru Seva. Thank you.
Nice job. This next one's also a walk-in person, so you have to write their name down. It's Gopal 20. His name's Neo Srivatsan. Grade 6, Sunday AM, Jatayu.
Hariom. 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 Hariom, everybody. My name is Neil Srivatsan, and I am in 6th grade. Have you all heard about Seva? One example of this is Jatayu. Jatayu was an eagle. He's from our epic, the epic Ramayana. One day he heard a woman screaming for help. Help me, please help me. After he heard this, he went to see what was going on. Upon arriving at the scene, he saw Ravana, a powerful king, taking a woman away who he did not know. He went up to Ravana and said, "Stop, I will not let you do this." Ravana, upon seeing this, just laughed. He laughed and said, "Get out of my way, you bird. You will die if you stand up, if you continue to be here." And thus a battle ensued. Jatayu fought even though he didn't have any weapons, armor, or power, and he was also old. Whereas Ravana had armor, he had weapons, he had powers, which even though he knew that he would lose, he kept on fighting. When Ravana cut off one of his wings, he continued fighting. When Ravana cut off both of his wings, he still continued to fight. In the end, he fell to the ground. He stayed alive until someone came so he could convey the message that a woman was taken by Ravana to the south. Rama came and saw Jatayu. Not knowing who he was, Rama thought that Jatayu was a demon. But upon further interrogation, he realized that the bird he saw was Jatayu. Jatayu told him the story, and Rama, realizing who that woman was, said, "Thank you very much for your service." In this, Rama started to cry. In the entire Ramayana, Rama did not cry until this moment. He did not cry when his father had died. He did not cry when he got banished from the kingdom. And he did not cry even when Sita got kidnapped. Jatayu showed the seva when even though he knew he could not win the fight, he fought. This is he showed this seva. Rama, seeing this, gave him moksha. In the end, we can learn that you should help anyone, no matter who they are, what the situation is, and what they look like. Even if they're asking for help, you should help them. Thus, thank you.
Next up, we have Gopal, number 6, Dev Kota, grade 6, Sunday PM, Boogie Woogie Ganesha.
Hari Om, everyone. My name's Dave Koda, just like she said. I'm in grade 6, and I'm part of the Durga Daredevils, and I'm going to be narrating Boogie Woogie Ganesha. This is a special book because this comes from our Chinmaya mission, and that's why there's a logo on here. This story basically talks about Ganesha and devotion to him. Lord Ganesha came down from Mount Kailash and joined the family of sage Kashyapa and his wife Aditi. They accepted him as their son, and he accepted them as the father and mother. Ganesha came down to earth for this specific reason. Mother Aditi spent a lot of time with Ganesha. She adored him and cared about him like nothing else on earth. She fed him yummy food and spent all of her time with him. One day, Mother Aditi wanted to take Ganesha to the river, and since she wanted to, she did so. Ganesha was playing on the soft grass, catching butterflies, playing with the monkeys, and playing with his pet mouse. Little Ganesha was enjoying the warm and sunny day. But just then, little Ganesha heard Mother Aditi's voice saying, Mother Aditi said, "Come on, Ganesha, get in the water. It's really hot outside. Let's get into fresh and cool water." He stretched out his chubby hands and dived in. And the water, just to describe it, it was cool, clean, and refreshing. It sparkled in sunlight, and it was beautiful. Ganesha was on a turtle. He did everything. He was having fun. He was having a blast, in fact. And this is what he was doing. But something terrible happened, and something unexpected was also about to happen. A crocodile was there, and it was sharp to its scales to all the way to its teeth. And the crocodile's goal was crazy. From under the water, the crocodile came, and just to describe it, it was very big, long, and dark, and a scary one, in fact. The crocodile saw chubby little Ganesha and wanted to touch him. He came closer and closer and closer until, snap! He was caught with. He used his mouth to catch him by his feet. Ganesha struggled to let go of him, and his grip was so strong that even Ganesha had needed help. Mother Aditi was yelling in agony. She was crying. She was yelling for people to help, and they did. They quite did, but no one was there yet. Two men were coming, but before they came, she tried letting her hand, and tried catching Ganesha, but the crocodile was swaying him there and couldn't catch up to the crocodile. Then the people that I was talking about wanted to helped and said, "Ganesha, hold on." Some of them jumped into the river. Some called out to other people to come and help. They were holding the crocodile. They were pinching. They were hitting. But they were not able to free Ganesha. But no one was able to free Ganesha from the powerful clutch of a crocodile, but Ganesha himself. Then suddenly the twinkle in his eyes, and Ganesha, bright and beautiful eyes, and with all his might, and like a flash of lightning, he got out. Everyone was stunned and amazed, and was able to experience Ganesha's strength. And then fearless Ganesha did the most surprising and unexpected thing of all. He danced on the back of the crocodile. He started dancing. Ganesha danced from the top of the crocodile's nose to the tip of its tail. He tapped and clapped, and he hopped and bopped. Doom chuck chuck doom chuck a doom. Ganesha giggled and gurgled with laughter. And the crocodile came out of the riverbank, and then he jumped back into the then the crocodile landed on the ground, and then it suddenly just disappeared. All the people cheered Ganapati Bappa Moria, Mangala Murti Moria. Ganesha was unbeatable. No one can beat him. After all, he was the son of Parvati Devi and Shiva. And they said, he removes all of our troubles. We're safe, we're great, and that's it. But now a tall, handsome king was standing where the crocodile had just been. He stood with his hands folded and bent low, and touched Ganesha's feet. "My name is Chitra," he said. "I was cursed to live as a crocodile, but thanks to you, Lord Ganesha, I have now been freed from my curse. I made a mistake before I was cursed. I did something very wrong, but then I was sorry, so very sorry. Because I said I was sorry, the sage Birgu changed the curse. He said I would stop being a crocodile when you, the mightiest of all the lords, touched me. So when you touched me, Ganesha, I was cured from my curse. Just your touch, just the sight of you, cures us all. I was sad that I had made a mistake, but now I think making mistakes is not so bad after all. Something good can happen from them too. Failure is a road to success, and I must come from and obstacles are part of success." And Chitra explained that he was lucky, he was glad to see him. I'm really truly lucky, and the luckiest of all. The lovable little Ganesha danced on my back. And just to add a little questions, Ganesha likes to dance. Would you? Do you like dancing? Just by show of hands, can you raise your hand? Nice, that's a lot of people. Would you let him dance in your house on the top of your roof? Would you let him dance in your property, your neighbor's property? Let him dance on your tongue. Let him dance on your eyes. Let him dance on your head. Let him dance through your tears. Let him dance all the way into your heart where he can stomp out those yucky, icky bits. Let him smile and giggle and laugh. And of course, just dance. Quickly tell him to come and dance in your heart. Well, have you called him yet? That's up to you. And that is all that I did.
Next up, we have Gopal for Shashankari, grade 12, Amritav, and selfless service of Urmila and Lakshman.
Hari, my name is Shashankari, and today I'm going to be telling a story about selfless service of Urmila and Lakshman. Ram was very dear to Lakshman. It is said that when Lakshman was born, he was crying constantly until he was placed next to Lord Ram. He never left Ram for a moment. He was always around Lord Ram. When Lord Ram sent to exile for 14 years, Lakshman wished to accompany him, and Lakshman's wife Urmila also expressed her desire to accompany him. But Lakshman denied her. He believed Urmila is his responsibility, and if she comes with him, then he will not be able to serve Lord Ram and Mata Sita. He told Urmila to take care of his parents when he is in exile. It is said that Lakshman did not sleep for 14 years in exile. On first day of exile, when he did not sleep, Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep, came to him and asked why he did not sleep. Lakshman told that serving Lord Ram and Mata Sita and their safety is his responsibility, so he cannot sleep. Nidra Devi said every person on earth needs to sleep, and he cannot be an exception. Looking at Lakshman's devotion to Lord Ram, Nidra Devi said, "Okay, Lakshman, you can stay awake for 14 years, but someone else has to sleep on your behalf." Lakshman said that his wife Urmila can take his sleep. That's how Urmila was sleeping for 14 years under her service in safeguarding Lord Ram and Mata Sita. Meghana, the son of Ravana, has a boon that only that person can kill who has not slept for 14 years. That's how Lakshmana could kill Meghana. Due to the selfless service and sacrifice of Lakshmana and Urmila, Lord Ram could defeat Ravana. The end!
Nice job. Next up we have Madhava 2, Shivankare, Grade 3, Friday PM, Selfless Service, Buddha Story. Madhava 2.
Hello, I'm Shravan Kumar, and I'm gonna tell the story. I'm gonna tell the Buddha story about selfless service. Once Buddha went to a desert region in the eagerness to meet him. The king there reached to him. A question was bothering the king for a long time, which he asked Buddha. The king's question was if there was any person who was great and no one knows him. Hearing this, Buddha smiled and replied, there are many, indeed extraordinary people who are greater than great men. The king said surprisingly, how is it possible if someone is great and no one is aware of their greatness? Then Buddha told the king to come with him to the village. After walking a long way, they saw an ordinary girl under a tree. She was carrying some water in a pitcher. The king and Buddha were very thirsty, so they asked for the water and drank it. The king took out money to give to the girl, but she refused to take the money. The girl said, "Oh Rajan, I don't do any business. Look at this tree. It doesn't ask for anything, but it gives shade. That's why I sit here with a pitcher of water, so I can give water to the commuters. The service of mine gives me happiness." Hearing this, the king got satisfied that he got his answer. This Buddha story teaches us the real greatness is to do selfless service to mankind. Thank you.
Nice job. Next up we have Madhava 7, Vishnu Rajgopalan, Grade 3, Sunday AM, Sage Agastya.
Hari Om. My name is Vishnu, and today I am just here as Sage Agastya. One day, Sage Agastya heard that there was a great war between Sri Rama and Ravana. So he was going to go to the battlefield and worship Rama. He went to Rama. Wow, that's a word. He went to Rama, and then he said, "I know who you are. Why do you look so tired and confused? If you recite these in the battle, you will be victorious in the battlefield." Rama Rama Mahabaho Shrunuguhyam Sanatanam Yena Sarvan Narin Vatsa Samare Vijayashyasi Aditya Hridayam Punyam Sarvashatru Vinashanam Jayavaham Jape Nityam Akshayam Paramam Shivam, which means, "O great shoulder Rama, O great shoulder Rama, the sun will defeat all your enemies, and if you recite this sacred shloka, shlokas, you will be victorious in the battlefield." Thank you. Hari Om.
job, Vishnu. Next up, we have Gopal 8, Anaga Raj Gopalan, grade 7, Sunday AM, King Shibi.
Hari Om, my name is Anaga, and today I will be telling you the story of King Shibi. King Shibi was a very virtuous and just man. People from all over came to see him do his yajnas, even devas. But Lord Indra always doubted him, so one day he decided to put him to the test. Lord Indra disguised himself as a small pigeon and came flying over to King Shibi. He pleaded, "Oh, King Shibi, please save me. There's a hawk trying to eat me." So King Shibi, he promised that he would keep the pigeon safe. But soon after, the hawk came, and the hawk pleaded to King Shibi, "Oh, King Shibi, I haven't eaten in days, and this pigeon is the only thing I found." Now King Shibi was very confused, and he didn't know what to do. So he said, "Oh, hawk, I have promised this pigeon that I wouldn't let anyone eat it. So you can have all my buffaloes and anything else, but I will not give you this pigeon." But the hawk refused, saying that it can't eat any of this because it's not in its diet. But the hawk gave another solution. It said, if you can't give me the pigeon, then why not give me your own flesh?" Everyone around thought that this was such a cruel thing to do, but King Shibi didn't think of it that way. So he took the pigeon and he put it on one side of a scale, and he started slowly taking off his flesh and putting it on the other side. But after a long time and giving portion and portion of his flesh, the pigeon was still so much heavier than his flesh. So he thought, "Oh no, what am I going to do? I've lost almost all my flesh, but the pigeon is still so much heavier." So without another option, he took himself and stepped on the scale. Everyone else had no idea what to do, so they started screaming, "Oh, King Shibi, why are you sacrificing yourself for just 2 birds?" But then, right as King Shibi stepped on the scale, all of his flesh came back, and the pigeon was gone. Instead stood Lord Indra. Lord Indra said, "I had doubted your kind-heartedness, but after I put you to the test, you have passed, and I know how virtuous you are." From this story, we learn that we should always be virtuous, and not just to some people, but everyone and everything around us. Hari Om.
Good job. We have a 10-minute break for the judges and everyone else. So we start it? Yeah. Should we start it? Okay. I'll just start. Are you guys ready? Ready? Okay. Next up is Krishna 09 Om Mujur Sood Pre-K Friday PM, a squirrel's contribution in building Ram Setu.
Hurry Om. I am over to Tarsuth.
Okay, you continue. You don't have to.
I'm 5 years old. Today I tell the story of Squirrel Shiva and to Lord Ram. Monkey Army and
Don't hold it. You forgot? Okay,
Monkey Army and Monkey Army and Lord Hanuman are building a bridge with stones. Each and every monkey
Each and every monkey.
were writing Sri Ram's name on the stones and chanting Jai Shri Ram and putting them in the sea. A small squirrel was watching the monkey. It believed that Sri Ram was God. He thought, let me also help. He was picked up, help to build the bridge. With its tiny hands, it picked up grains of sand and chanting Jai Shri Ram. What he put the sand in the sea. He kept doing it over and over. Sri Ram saw him and said, even though you're so tiny, you have served me very well. I'm very happy. Then he put his hand on his head to bless him. That's how all squirrels have marks on back of their head. Hari Om.
Next is Krishna 11 Ane Pope Kindergarten Friday PM Ganapati and the Kartikeya race.
My name is Ane, and one time Narad came on Kailash where Shankar and his wife Parvati and their two sons
Ganesha, Kartikeya lived, and he had a mango with him. He gave it to Parvati, and Parvati loved her sons equally. So she was thinking to cut it, but Narad said you can't cut the fruit. You have to give it to only one of your sons. So Narad told Ganesha and Kartikeya that you will have 3 rounds around the world, and whoever finishes first will get the mango. And Kartikeya hopped right on his peacock and went around the world. Ganesha hopped on his mouse and went around his parents. And when Kartikeya's 3 rounds were done, he came back. Then Kartikeya said, I finished 3 rounds and Ganesha didn't even come in the race. So I win. Then Narad said that, why didn't you participate in the race, Ganesha? That Ganesha says, I did participate in the race, but for me, my parents are my world, so I went around them, and so I'm the real winner. So Ganesha gets the mango, and so your parents are your world. They love you, they do so much for you.
Next is Madhava 11, Ashvika Shastri, grade 3, Sunday PM, The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
No, it's number 30. Zara.
Yeah.
Zara Sanjay.
Next is Madhava 13, Zara Sanjay, grade 3, Friday PM, Hanuman saves Lakshmana.
Hari Om. Who moved a mountain? Who loves Rama? Who cured Lakshmana? Hanuman! Yes, he really did move a mountain. His seva towards Rama and Lakshmana made him move that mountain. Now, let me tell you the story of when Hanuman moved a mountain. A war was raging between Rama and the Vanaras, who are on one side, and Ravana and the Asuras on the other side. Rama's side was winning. Meghnad, Ravana's son, was determined to kill Rama and Lakshmana. As he charged into the battlefield, Lakshmana started shooting arrows at him and even destroyed his chariot. But Meghnad did not die. He decided it was time to shoot the Brahmastra, a very powerful weapon, at Lakshmana. As it hits Lakshmana, he falls to the ground unconscious. Ram runs to his beloved brother and tries to bring him back to consciousness, but in vain. Of course, Hanuman, who was watching all this time, could not bear to see Rama in such distress. So he decided to take action. Jambavan tells Hanuman that he can get the Sanjeevani plant from the Himalayas and that will cure Lakshmana. Hanuman does not think twice. He flies off searching for the Sanjeevani plant. When Hanuman gets to the Himalayas, he is surrounded by plants. He doesn't know which one to pick. He knows the Sanjeevani plant will glow, but all the plants here are glowing. But then Rama's sad face comes to mind, and Hanuman knows he cannot waste any time here. So he decides to pick up the giant mountain and go back quickly.
The mighty Mahaperiyava picks up the giant mountain and rushes back to the battlefield. When he gets there, Rama is waiting for him. Jambavan quickly plucks the Sanjeevani plant off the mountain and sprinkles the juice into Lakshmana's mouth. Lakshmana quickly regains consciousness. Rama is overjoyed and relieved that Lakshmana is better. Once again, Hanuman has shown his seva towards his Lord. So now you might be thinking how you can show seva. You don't need to start with something big. Start by helping around the house. Service towards your mother, father, teacher, and then God. Mata, Pitta, Guru, Devam. Hari Om.
Next is Krishna 13, Mitra Ramakrishnan, kindergarten, Friday p.m. How Ganesha got his vehicle.
Hari Om. I am going to tell the story about how Ganesha got his vehicle. Hari Om. I am Gandharva named Ganesha. Ganesha used to play music in Gandharva's court. One day, Ganesha was late for his performance. He by accidentally stepped on a sage's foot. The sage cursed him to a mouse. He wasn't a regular sized mouse. He was a big mouse. The mouse was destroying people's houses to get food. The prayers were praying to Ganesha for this huge mouse. The Ganesha heard the prayers and tied Ganesha with a rope. Ganesha asked Ganesha, "What is your wish?" Ganesha said Ganesha wants to be his vehicle. That's how Ganesha got his vehicle. Hari Om.
That was a wonderful story. Next is Krishna 14, Arnesh Sutar, grade 1, Sunday a.m.
Hari Om. My name is Arnish and I am going to be telling the story of Shravana. When Dasharatha was still a young prince, he knew how to hunt, and he was hunting and he heard a sound, and it sounded like an elephant. He shot his bow and arrow, and when his arrow hit the elephant, he heard a sound, and he heard a sound, and it was not the elephant. He went over and saw that it was a boy named Shravana lying down with an arrow through his body. He said, "Fill the pitcher with water and bring this to my parents. And pull the arrow out of me." Dasharatha hesitated to pull the arrow out of Shravana because if he pulled the arrow or he would surely die. Then Shravana said, "Do not hesitate to pull the arrow. Oh, my mind is calm. I am ready to die." Dasharatha pulled the arrow out of Shravana, and then blood gushed out of him, and he died. Dasharatha filled the pitcher with water and went over to the ashram where Shravana's parents were. When they heard the sound of footsteps, they said, "Why did it take so long, son? Were you playing with water in the river banks?" Thanks. Dasharatha said, "I am not your son. I am Prince Dasharatha. My arrow accidentally hit your son, and now he lies dead at the river banks." Hearing this, Shravana's mother fainted, and his father said, "I will not curse you to ashes because your arrow accidentally hit my son." Then Dasharatha took their parents into the river banks. And then fire. No. Hari Om.
That was a great story. Next is Gopala 10, Harishankar Anish, grade 7, Sunday AM, The Life of Prahlada.
Hari Om. My name is Hari, and I am going to be talking to you about the story of Bhakta Prahlada. To start things off, Seva and Bhakti are two sides of the same coin, as Seva is nothing but pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord without expecting any result in return. A great example of this is shown in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the life of Prahlada. Prahlada was the son of a great demonic king called Hiranyakashipu, and when the demigods attacked the demons and arrested his mother Kayadu, a saint called Narada Muni stopped them and took Kayadu into his own hermitage. There, he taught her about the glories of spiritual life and devotional service. However, Kayadu couldn't entirely listen to these stories as she was worried about the well-being of her unborn child, Prahlada. Prahlada, however, was listening entirely. Even being in his mother's womb with underdeveloped senses was no barrier for him to listen to Narada Muni's teachings. This brought him to practice spiritual devotional service throughout his entire life. Meanwhile, Hiranyakashipu, his father, was performing austerities to Lord Brahma in order to get a boon. And soon enough, Lord Brahma ascended from the heavens and asked Hiranyakashipu what his boon would be. When Hiranyakashipu asked for immortality, however, Lord Brahma said that he simply couldn't do it, as it was a too powerful quest. So Hiranyakashipu came up with a plan and asked Lord Brahma to not be able to be killed inside or outside a house, in the day or in the night, in the ground or in the sky, or by any weapon or entity created by Lord Brahma, human, god, or animal. And so, because of his arrogance and thinking that he was the supreme ruler of everything, and out of his hatred for Lord Vishnu, Hiranyakashipu stopped all worship of Lord Vishnu in his entire kingdom. Even though Prahlada was the son of this evil king, he had no demonic ties, or ties to his father's extensive property or kingdom. And so when Prahlada was 5 years old, he went to a school full of other demons, children, and teachers. There, he was taught demon politics and diplomacy. However, Prahlada wasn't interested in any of these teachings. Instead, he stuck to his own teachings of devotional service. He even taught it to other children at the school. And that even when the teachers punished him for this severely, he still stuck to his own beliefs. And when the situation got too difficult for the teachers to handle, they reported to Hiranyakashipu. And even though he was the father of this child, Hiranyakashipu showed no mercy and tried to kill Prahlada by throwing huge stones upon him, by throwing him into a pit of poisonous sticks, by burning him with fire, and by sending elephants to trample him. However, Prahlada came out of all of this unscratched. And when Hiranyakashipu asked how this was even possible, Prahlada answered that he was safe only because of his supreme lord, Lord Vishnu, and he was keeping him safe. This is because a true devotee is always protected by the Lord at all times. Then Hiranyakashipu mockingly asked, "Oh, if your Lord is everywhere at all times, is he in this pillar right next to me? And if so, I'm going to kill him right here and right now." And when Prahlada proudly said, "Yes, he is in that pillar," Hiranyakashipu struck the pillar with enraged, and out from the rubble came Lord Vishnu in Narasimha form, half lion and half human. When Hiranyakashipu tried to strike him, however, Narasimha took Hiranyakashipu to the palace staircase and killed him with his own claws on his lap in the evening, not to break the boon that Hiranyakashipu had gotten from Lord Brahma earlier. And so, when Narasimha killed Hiranyakashipu, everyone in the kingdom cheered for Prahlada, as he was the cause of this evil ruler's death. And when Lord Vishnu asked Prahlada if he wanted anything at all, Prahlada, instead of taking a boon like normal people would, he instead asked Lord Vishnu not to tempt him with any mortal desires, and instead asked him to forgive his father Hiranyakashipu and his men for any sins that they had made throughout their lifetime. And so Lord Vishnu said that he had purified Hiranyakashipu along with 21 of his descendants. And thus Prahlada serves as a great example of a true devotee, as when Narada Muni planted the seed of bhakti inside him, he became blessed and ended up practicing devotional service throughout his entire life. An ideal devotee is never falsely proud of his qualifications, as he knows that the Lord will not be proud of some qualifications in life. Instead, one can satisfy the Lord simply by practicing devotional service or seva at all times throughout their life. Hari Om, and thank you for listening.
Hari Om.
Next is Krishna 12, Drishan Sutar, Grade 1, Sunday AM.
Hari Om. My name is Rishan, and I'm going to tell you the story of Vishwamitra's request. One day, Vishwamitra came to Dashratha, and Dashratha said, and he couldn't do anything for him. Vishwamitra asked him for Rama. Then Dashratha was thinking, if he says yes, then and Rama will have to fight Rakshasas. If he says no, then he will have to face Vishwamitra's consequences. Dashratha said no. Vishwamitra said, Dashratha, you have gone back on your words. And you said you would do anything for me, and now you're not sending Rama? All this time, Vashishta was listening quietly. He said, Dashratha, send and Rama, send Lakshmana too. Dashratha sent Rama and Lakshmana. When they got to the forest, Vishwamitra and Yagya. Rama and Lakshmana protected the Yagya. Then Rama said, and let us be alert. All was fine on the blast, but no sign of Rakshasas. Then the lights were flickering. Maricha came and said, let's destroy this Yagya. So Bahu came and said, let's throw some blood into the fire. Rama and Lakshmana fought at Maricha and Subahu. Then, and Rama shot an arrow at Maricha and threw him 500 miles away into the ocean. And then at Subahu and killed him instantly. Then Vishwamitra told Rama and Lakshmana that going to Mithila, ruled by King Janaka. He has a bow named the Rudravo. He said they should come and see it. When they went, King Janaka told them that at whoever can break the bow will get his daughter Sita. Then lots of kings and princes also came. Many of them tried to break the bow. No one could do it. Then Rama's turn came. He asked Vishwamitra for permission. He said yes. Then and Rama, with a big key, could lift the bow and broke the bow. He got Janaka's daughter Sita. Then Vishwamitra takes Rama and Lakshmana back and then they do the wedding. Hari Om.
Next is Gopala 13, Anika Hola, grade 5, Sunday AM, Arjuna and Shiva.
Hari Om. There are many different ways God tests their devotees. A perfect example is the story of Arjuna versus Shiva. So we all know how great of a warrior Arjuna was in the Mahabharata, but he still needed to acquire lethal weapons to beat the Kauravas in the war. So he decides to go up north to the Himalayas to meditate on the great Lord Shiva. Once he starts meditating, 1 month passes by, 2 months pass by, and then once the third month passes by, he decides that just meditating is not enough to please Shiva. So he starts fasting, then fasting without sleeping. 3 months after that, he starts standing on one leg. While all of this is happening, his strength and vitality get better each and every day. And there's a flame of fire rising from his head, representing his intense devotion. One day around, things are different. The birds aren't chirping, the sun seems brighter, and the entire grove is completely silent. It was the night of Shivaratri. Arjuna opens his eyes and looks to his right, just to see a massive boar charging at him with the obvious intent to kill him. Arjuna is startled, but regains his calm quickly and shoots a lethal arrow at the boar. The arrow is just about to hit the boar when another arrow comes flying out of nowhere, and both arrows hit their mark. The boar falls to the ground like a great falling mountain. Arjuna looks around in anger and confusion as to where the other arrow came from, and he sees approaching him from a far distance a tall, well-built man. When the man gets closer, Arjuna realizes he is a hunter. The hunter asks Arjuna, "Why did you shoot the boar? I clearly told you that it was my boar and I was going to shoot it, yet you still shot it." Arjuna tells the hunter, it was my dharma to shoot the boar. It was obviously coming to kill me. Now be gone, otherwise you will face my wrath." The hunter says, "Only cowards hide behind their words. If you were a true warrior, you would have killed me already." Arjuna cannot tolerate this and shoots 10, 30, 100 arrows at the hunter. The hunter catches him and breaks them into pieces. Arjuna reaches for more arrows from his inexhaustible quiver, but it's empty. Arjuna doesn't think and rushes at the hunter with its indestructible Gandiva bow, but it breaks into half when it touches the hunter's skin. Now Arjuna only has the sword, so he unsheaths it and hits the hunter very hard, except the sword shatters into millions of pieces. Now Arjuna only has his fists, so he runs at the hunter, punching and slapping him. The hunter tolerates this for maybe 1 to 2 minutes, but then he swats Arjuna so hard that he goes flying backwards. Arjuna now has broken bones and is very bruised, so he tells the hunter, "Just wait. I will go pray to the great Lord Shiva for strength, and then I will kill you." Arjuna goes to the forest and makes a Shivalingam out of mud and clay. He offers a few flowers and leaves to it, and chants some mantras, but surprisingly, his strength hasn't came back. His determination surely has. So he rushes back to the hunter, but is awestruck by what's on the hunter's head. The very same leaves and flowers that he'd offered to the Shivalingam were now on the hunter's head. Arjuna realized his sins and fell at the hunter's feet, terrified. He just starts chanting Om Namah Shivaya. The hunter shows him his true form, which is the great Lord Shiva, along with Mother Parvati. Shiva grants Arjuna the great Pashupatastra weapon, and Parvati grants him the great Anjalika weapon. This is how Arjuna becomes one of the greatest warriors ever to exist. Hari Om.
So next up we have Anya Vinod from grade 4 Sunday PM, and her story is "Do Not Build Castles in the Air." Yeah, Madhava 12.
Hari Om. My name is Anya and I'm in 4th grade. I live in Princeton. And today I'm going to tell you a story from Panchatantra stories. Panchatantra stories are short, ancient Indian stories for kids. They have a lot of meaning. Today, the story I'm going to tell you is about a poor Brahmin and a pot of flour. The story has seva with a twist. Enjoy. Once there was a poor Brahmin. He was hungry and he was tired and he was walking across the street. There was a baker and he took pity on him and he felt bad, so he offered him a pot of flour. You know, the type you make with rotis and bread. The Brahmin happily took the flour and went to his home. He hung the pot of flour right above his bed and he went to his bed and he fell asleep. And he started to dream what all he could do with that pot of flour. He started to dream that there would be famine, scarcity, and there would be no food or resources. He would sell the pot of flour for a very high price and use that money to buy 2 goats. And with those 2 goats, they would soon make a herd and make kids, which are called kids. And he would sell the goats, and in trade he would get cows and buffaloes. With the cows and buffaloes, he could make milk, curd, and delicacies. And soon he would trade in precious stones like rubies, diamonds, pearls. And he would now be very rich. He would buy a huge house, a mansion with a garden and berry orchards. And the king would soon hear of his riches and offer his beautiful daughter's hand in marriage, the princess. They would now have children, boys and girls, and he imagined that he was chasing them across the house and he was swatting his hand in the air. But suddenly his hand struck the pot of flour, and the pot of flour woke him up. And when he came up, he realized it was all a dream. There was no big house, no vegetable garden, no berry orchard, no beautiful princess, no children. All there was a broken pot of flour scattered all across the floor. The moral of the story is, don't build castles in the air. It won't get you anywhere. Instead, work hard and help those in need, and you will succeed. Hari Om.
That was a great story. So next up, we have Giri. Yeah, one sec. I'm just looking for it. So it's Madhava 10. Wait, what's your number? 20?
No, 37. Hari Om. My name is Giri Shankar Anish, and I'm going to tell you the story of Bali, or Mahabali, who's believed to have ruled Kerala long ago. Bali was a noble king who transformed his kingdom into a heavenly place. He ruled without discrimination, and his people were honest, healthy, and happy under his rule. Bali also possessed the Amrita obtained by the Asuras. Thus, he was also immortal. After many wars with the Devas, the invincible Bali had conquered all three worlds. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, where the story of Bali appears, the Lord's incarnation was to bless Bali, leading him to the higher path of knowledge and life. Bali was a noble king, but he had an air of arrogance in him that prevented him from achieving the greatness he had always had. As the story goes, his time to have ruled the three worlds would have come to an end. But he was too contented with his position and was not showing any sign of passing it on. His subjects also followed his philosophy of life, thus material prosperity brought arrogance in all of them. Bali insisted that if anybody asked for anything from him, there should be no reason that they asked for anything from anybody else. That's when the Devas requested Lord Vishnu to intervene. So, Lord Vishnu took the form of a young Brahmin boy named Vamana. Vamana came to Bali and asked for 3 steps of land to meditate on. Bali, of course, he said, yes, take as much as you want. I don't want you asking for anything from anybody else. Sukracharya, the guru of Asuras, was also there, but he felt something fishy about this. He told Bali to not accept the request, but Bali declined and said that he could not take back his word. That's when Vamana turned into a gigantic form and covered the entire earth with his first step and the heavens with his second. Vamana asked Bali, where should I keep my third step? Bali, understanding the divine Leela, bowed down in reverence and asked Vamana to keep his third step on his head. Bali understood that the sacrifice of his kingdom was insignificant compared to the sacrifice of his ego before the Lord. Even when Sukracharya asked Bali to take his promise back, Bali refused and chose the path of rightfulness. This happened because of the spiritual strength he had already had. He was graced with the honorable spot in Sutala and was given the special privilege to visit his subjects once a year. Onam is celebrated in Kerala to celebrate the annual visit of Mahabali and the Lord's incarnation as Vamana. The story of Mahabali proves to be an ideal example that the human mind and the ego we all carry inside of us can be overcome by devotional service towards the Lord, thus paving the way of spiritual progress. Thank you for listening, and Hari Om.
That was a good story. So next, there's Madhava 15, Sachi Gaikwad, grade 2, Sunday 8 a.m. And her story is Sri Lakshman Seva.
Hi, my name is Sachi. I'm going to be telling the story of Lakshman Seva. Once upon a time, there was a brave and skilled archer named Lakshman. He was the younger brother of Rama. Ram was the seventh avatar. Lakshman was considered as Sheshnag. Lakshman could shoot 500 arrows in one go. When Rama married Sita, Lakshman married Sita's sister, Urmila. Just before the coronation, something unexpected happened. King Dasharatha, their father, had to send Rama away for 14 years because of a promise he made to his wife, Kaikeyi. Lakshman and Sita chose to go with Rama. Lakshman made a big decision not to sleep for the entire 14 years. Shurpanak, Ravan's sister, saw Lakshman and Rama in the forest. She tried to cause the trouble by attacking Sita, but Lakshman, in defense, bravely sliced off her nose. This led to a chain of events, Ravan seeking revenge, the demon king. Marichi, Ravan's uncle, got a shapeshifter to lure Lakshman and Ram into the forest. After Rama chased after a golden buck, Lakshman created a protective line called Lakshman Rekha to ensure Sita's safety. But still Ravan could take Sita. Meghnad, Ravan's son, got a battle against Lakshman and Meghnad. Lakshman faced a powerful opponent that for someone who hadn't slept for more than 12 years could defeat Meghnad. Thanks for Lakshman sacrifice himself, he could beat Meghnad. After defeating Meghnad, Bhagwan Sri Ram Lakshman, Sita, Hanuman returned to the Ayodhya, and Rama ruled the kingdom for several years. Yama, the Lord of Death, arrived at Rama's palace and made a meeting with him. He put a condition that whoever interrupts the meeting will award the death penalty. Rama explained this to Lakshman, and Lakshman guarded the door. Sage Durvasa, the hot-headed sage, wanted to talk with Rama, but Lakshman tried to explain the condition. But Sage Durvasa got very angry and said that he would curse the whole Ayodhya. But Lakshman would never allow the people of Ayodhya to suffer, so instead he chose the death penalty. So Lakshman interrupted the meeting. As Rama promised Yama, Lakshman went to the Squirrel river and took Jal Samadhi. He waded to the Milky Ocean and took the form of Sheshnag. So the story of Lakshman is not just about his bravery and archery skills. It teaches us that our selfless service and love and sacrifice make us stronger in the face of challenges. Hari Om. Thank you for listening.
That was a great story. So next we have Vaishnavi, and the code is Gopala 18. So Vaishnavi Narayanam, grade 5, Friday PM, and her story is Mahaperiyava. Mahaperiyava.
Hari Om. Narayanan. Hari Om. Once Mahaperiyava was going to a temple inauguration. On the way, there were poor villagers, so he went to see what was happening. While he was there, he saw the villagers were very frail and weak. He decided to help out. He told his manager to get them groceries so he can make food for them. After that, he also told his followers who were very rich to get the size of the clothes that each and every villager wears, and count how many people, and get 2 pairs. After that, he would give it to them, and they were all grateful. After that they went to they missed the temple inauguration. The manager was very upset, but Mahaperiyava said that this is service to God, so it's okay if we miss the temple inauguration. Thank you. That's it.
That was a good story. So who's next? Next up we have Rahul Ramesh. What's his number? So, Krishna 16, Rahul Ramesh. He's in kindergarten in the Friday PM class, and his story is The Lion and the Mouse.
Hi, my name is Rahul, and I'm going to say the story about the lion and the mouse. Once there was a lion sleeping in the forest. A mouse climbed up to play on its back. The lion woke up, and he was about to cross the mouse. The mouse got super scared, and the mouse said, "I didn't know I was disturbing you," and then the lion said, "It's okay," and then the lion let the mouse go, and then us, then a then and then a hunter came, and the hunter put a net on the lion, and then when the lion woke up, and he couldn't move. He was trapped in the net, and then the lion was roaring, and then the mouse came in, and then the mouse saw the lion, and then the mouse said, "I can help you by biting," and so the mouse bit a net, and then he made a big hole, and he let the lion come out, and then the lion said, "Thank you for saving me," he said.
That was a wonderful story. So next we have 41. So Gopalala 17. Vashishta Narayan, grade 5, Friday PM. And the story is how a squirrel helped Lord.
My story is about like how a squirrel helped Lord Rama. So once upon a time, there was never mind. So like Lord Rama was building a bridge to save Sita from Lanka, from Ravana. So basically, wait 1 minute. Okay, so basically Lord Rama had to cross the bridge. So but the water would be difficult to cross, like the sea, to get to Lanka. So Rama prayed to Samudradev for 3 days straight, and Samudradev didn't respond. So Rama took the Agni Astra and pointed it at the sea, and then Samudradev appeared and apologized to Rama and let way. And so basically, and then monkeys started helping Rama, started helping Lord Rama construct the bridge to floating rocks to to Lanka. And once up and like seeing this, Squirrel thought like Rama was the supreme Lord himself. So it started helping Lord Rama, and then doing whatever it can to help Lord Rama, like making the bridge. So like then seeing this, Lord Rama was very pleased about this, and started petting him, and like pet him on his back, and that mark like is on the squirrel. And then it could be seen to this day. So this shows that you could like how small you are. Never. Okay. I don't know. Like no matter how small you are, you can still help it. You can still help. Okay.
That was a great story. So next, we have Madhava 17, Ritika Ramesh from grade 2, Friday PM. And her story is The Woodcutter's Axe.
Hari Om, my name is Ritika and I'm going to be telling the woodcutter and the axe story. Once there was a woodcutter and he used to cut wood for his family to earn money. One day he slipped and his axe fell into the river. Then he was very sad and he was thinking, how am I supposed to earn money for my family? Then the woodcutter started praying very sadly, and then Lord Saraswati came and asked, why are you so sad? And then the woodcutter said, I dropped my axe into the river and now I cannot earn money for my family. Then Saraswati went down, and when she came up, she brought a golden axe. Then the woodcutter said, no, that is not my axe. Then Lord Saraswati went down again, and then when she came up, she had a silver axe. The woodcutter said, no, that is also not my axe. Then she brought up a regular metal axe. The woodcutter said, yes, that is my axe. And then Lord Saraswati said, for being so honest, I will give you all of the axes. Then he sold the gold and silver axes, and then he earned lots of money, and he got lots of new things like a new house, new car, and new things. Then another woodcutter saw this, and then he went and asked, how did you earn so much money? And then this woodcutter said, I dropped my axe, and then when Saraswati came, she gave me all a gold, silver, and metal axe. Then this woodcutter got jealous, and then he took his axe and he purposefully threw his axe into the water. Then the woodcutter started to pretend to be sad, and he was praying. And then Lord Saraswati came and asked, why are you so sad? And then this woodcutter said, I dropped my axe into the river. Then the Lord Saraswati went down, and when she came up, she brought a gold axe. Then the woodcutter said, yes, that is my axe. Then she brought up a silver axe, and the woodcutter said, yes, that is also my axe. Then she brought up a regular metal axe, and the woodcutter said, yes, that is also my axe. Then Lord Saraswati said, now I know that you are not being truthful, and for not being honest and truthful, I will take away all of the axes. And then the woodcutter was very poor, and he didn't have any money to buy anything for his family. And the moral of the story
is always be honest and never be greedy. Hari Om.
That was a really great story. So next up, we have Gopala 16. So that's Ishan Paritala, grade 5, Sunday AM. And his story is The Great Humanist by King Rantideva.
Hello, my name is Ishan Paritala. I'm in 5th grade, and I'm going to tell you the story about the King Rantideva. All of us know about the great King Karna, the most selfless man to walk down the earth. But today, I'm here to tell you the story of King Rantideva of the Bharata dynasty, the indistinguishable match of Karna. King Rantideva's father was King Sankriti, and he was the grandson of Nara. He had a brother named Guru. He was kind-hearted and a big devotee of Vishnu. He saw the Lord in all living beings. Saw the Lord in all living beings. Unfortunately, a famine came to his kingdom and destroyed all the crops. So he had to distribute with whatever he had with the people. There was a point where he didn't have anything to share. So he and his family were forced to fast for 48 days without food and water. Suddenly, after 48 days, he received some food. When he and his family were about to start eating, a very old-aged Brahmin came to his doorstep, and he asked for some of the food. King Rantideva shared his food with him. Then a beggar appeared. He asked for some of the food too, so King Rantideva shared some portion of the food that was left. And then after that, a man with hungry dogs came to his doorstep, and he asked for food too for his dogs. So King Rantideva gave the rest of the food away. So he and his family decided to quench their thirst by water. But a Chandala appeared, and they didn't even have water to drink. You know what? This was all a test by Lord Vishnu to Rantideva. When the Trimurti took their actual forms, Lord Vishnu offered a boon to Rantideva. But Rantideva declined the offer and said he was fine with whatever the Lord already gave to him. Rantideva became a great yogi and finally attained moksha. This is a story of devotion and selfless service. Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. Hari Om.
That was a really good story. Next is Madhava 16, Shaurya Bejaram, grade 4, Sunday AM.
Hari Om. My name is Shaurya Bejaram, and I am presenting about how Hanuman discovers his potential. Sampati was an old eagle. He lived alone. It's how Hanuman discovers his potential. Sampati was an old eagle. He lived alone on a rock in the southern seashore. One day, he noticed that the beach was crowded with monkeys. He asked the monkeys what brought them there and where they were from. In the crowd of monkeys, an elderly bear named Jambavan said that Rama, Prince of Ayodhya, and his wife was living in the forest with his wife Sita and brother Lakshmana. So when the two brothers were away from their cottage, Sita was unexpectedly carried away by someone. Though Sampati remembered seeing Ravana, a Rakshasa king, carrying away a woman far off the sea. I think Sampati answered, I think Sita might be hundreds of miles over the ocean in an island fortress of Lanka. So one monkey screamed out, "Let's jump over the sea!" But the monkey commander said, "Wait, what is your potential?" The monkey blinked and said, "What do you mean my potential?" The monkey commander said that, what is your capacity to jump? I mean, how far can you jump?" The monkey thought over it and said, "About 20 feet. Then you will fall right into the ocean," screamed another monkey. And everybody laughed. One monkey can jump 100 feet, another 200 feet, and so on. As it continued, Jambavan had an idea. Jambavan said, "There's one hero among us who can jump over far across the mighty ocean," he said, pointing to Hanuman. He said, pointing to a monkey sitting on a rock. "You mean Hanuman?" The monkey commander said. "He's so quiet. He doesn't look like he has the capacity to jump over the ocean." That is because he does not know his own potential," Jambavan said. "Let us surround him and chant a mantra to help him discover his potential." As Jambavan instructed, the monkeys surrounded Hanuman and started chanting a mantra. As they chanted the mantra, Hanuman grew bigger and bigger in size. He stretched his arms out and gave one giant leap over the ocean. Soon he landed in Lanka. He gave Sita Rama's message and Sita's message back to Rama. After that, Hanuman thanked his friends for helping him discover his potential. Similarly, everybody has a potential, but they might not know it. So they might need help. You can get help by asking your parents, teachers, or friends, and help find your own potential. Hari Om. Jai Shri Ram.
That was an amazing story. So next up, we have so judges, are we? Yep. Okay. So Gopala 11, Anjali Prasanna Kumar. So she's in grade 6, Sunday PM.
Hari Om, my name is Anjali and today I'm going to tell you a story about Seva. So the story starts in Kashi, a place where many people come to pray to Lord Shiva, take a bath in the Ganga waters, and hopefully attain moksha. Moksha is when many people come here when they are old age, so they can die here and attain moksha. Moksha is when you don't get rebirthed again, and you stay in Kailas with Lord Shiva. One day, Parvati Devi was confused about how so many people come to Kashi and hopefully attain moksha. How will they all fit in Kailas? So Lord Shiva told her to come with him to Kashi, but she had to listen to his instructions. So Parvati Devi turned into an old woman, and Lord Shiva turned into an old man. They appeared in front of the Kashi temple, and the old man was laying on the old lady's lap. As people passed by, the old lady begged people to give her some water. So when people passed by, she asked, "Please, my husband is dying, and because he doesn't have any water to drink. I cannot leave him here unattended and not and leave him here. So please, can you help us and give him some water?" Many people were furious when they saw this, because when they came, they didn't really like to see two people begging in front of the temple. Some people just ignored them completely and walked away. And some people wanted to help, but they didn't want to put aside their things that they were doing that day. So they said, "We'll first pray and then we'll help you." Just then, a robber walked by. He wanted to hopefully pickpocket a few people. Just then, after hearing the old woman's cries, he said, "Mother, what happened?" The old woman replied, "My husband is dying of thirst. Please, I cannot leave him here unattended and go get water. Please, can you help us?" The robber had water with him, so he was about to pour the water he had with him into the mouth of the old man. But then the old lady stopped him and said, "As a noble gesture, please say a word of truth before you pour the water down his throat." The robber did not understand, and she said, "Please say one good deed that you have done, something true about that good deed." The robber wasn't able to think about a good deed that he did. So he said, "Mother, I have not done any good deed so far. This present deed that I'm going to do is the only good deed that I have done so far." And with that, he poured the water down the throat of the old man. The old man and the old woman disappeared, and in their place came Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi, blessing the robber. They said, "Because you did seva, you put aside your things and helped the people in need. This shows that anyone can do seva. Anyone of any culture, race, young or old, good or bad, they all can do seva. This shows that seva is more fruitful than any prayer." Hari Om, thank you for listening.
That was a wonderful story. So next up, the roll call is Gopala 14. It's Hia Agarwal, grade 7, Sunday AM. And the story is The Cart Puller and the King.
Hari Om. My name is Hia, and my story's name is The Cart Puller and the King, one of the many stories from the great Upanishads. King Janashruti took care of all the people in his kingdom. He provided his people with food, money, and every amenity that they needed. He even built rest houses for travelers and visitors from other kingdoms. He wanted them to have a good time, and he did this without asking for money. Generous, isn't it? This was something that the king was aware of. He thought of how charitable and giving he was. He considered himself a great man. King Janashruti also knew the language of animals. One evening, when he was strolling in the palace's garden, he overheard two swans conversing. One swan said, "Do you know how great our king is? He is so charitable and giving." The other swan said, "But he isn't greater than the cart puller Rekva. He is better as he remains anonymous. King Janashruti is desperately pursuing fame." Hearing this, the king became worried. Imagine a great king who hears of a person better than himself. The next day, King Janashruti sent a search party to find Rekva. Finally, they found a man sitting underneath a cart. The guards asked, "Are you Rekva?" Rekva responded, "Yes." The guard said, "The king is wishing to see you in the palace." Rekva said, "But I do not wish to see the king." Hearing this, the king decided to see Rekva himself. He brought 600 cows, gold ornaments, chariots, and many other gifts to win over Rekva and ask for his wisdom. But seeing all of these gifts, Rekva coolly said, "I don't need any of these gifts. Please take them back." The next day, the king brought even better gifts. He brought diamonds and emeralds. But seeing these gifts, Rekva coolly said again, I don't need any of these gifts. Please take them back. The king said, but all I want is your wisdom. But there was no response from Rekwa. The next day, the king brought his own daughter's hand for Rekwa. Rekwa was neither amused nor tempted by this, but he was impressed by the king's perseverance to learning. This is a very important quality of a student. Finally, Rekwa accepted the king as his student. In his first lesson, he said, we worship many elements. We worship wind as it blows everything away. We worship fire as it burns everything. We worship breath as it keeps us alive. But we also worship the human spirit as the human spirit's presence gives meaning to all of these elements. The next day, Rekwa said, pride is very harmful when we do seva. It is not helpful to the giver or the receiver. Give, but without giver. Ego. Give, but not because what you have to give is yours to give. Give because the divine spirit has given you all the things that you have to give to others. Thus, many weeks passed, and the king finally completed his training with Rekwa. On the last day, King Janashruti brought all the gifts that he brought earlier for Rekwa and arranged the marriage of his daughter and Rekwa. This time, Rekwa accepted all of these gifts because they were given without pride. Thus, from this story, we learn if you have a loving heart, give quietly. When you serve, serve with anonymity. Hari Om.
That was an amazing story.
Okay.
Next up is Madhava 18, Mivan Vasavada, grade 2, Sunday PM. And the story is Shravan Seva for his blind parents.
Hello, my name is Mivan and I'll be telling a story about Shravan. Once upon a time there was a boy named Shravan who lived with his blind parents. He used to take really good care of them. He used to fan them while eating. He used to massage their legs while sleeping. And one day he heard the villagers that they're going on a pilgrimage. So Shravan told his parents if they want to go as well. But the parents said, it'll be a hard trouble for you for taking us. So Shravan thought until he got an idea. So he went to the carpenter and asked him if he can make a carriage. The carpenter was surprised to see such a caring son. The next day, the carriage was done. So Shravan told his wife that he's packing for himself and his parents. When it was time to leave, everyone said goodbye and prayed to and gave blessing to Shravan. In the morning, they used to visit big temples. In the afternoon, they used to eat lunch and sleep. One afternoon, Shravan's father wanted water, but the pot was empty, so Shravan went to the nearby lake and was filling up water. Meanwhile, at the same time, King Dasharatha was hunting. So he heard the gurgling sound of the water that Shravan was filling in the pot. So he shot the arrow and then mistakenly he shot Shravan. So when King Dasharatha came nearby, he saw that he didn't hit a deer, he hit Shravan. The last words of Shravan were, please give this water to my parents. They're sitting on a bench.
When the parents heard the footsteps coming, they thought, why did it take this long? King Dasharatha said, your son is no longer alive. I mistakenly shot him. And then the parents were shocked and they gave a curse to King Dasharatha that in the future you will also longer for your son. So King Dasharatha went back to Ayodhya and took care of the parents' bodies because they died. And after many years, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana went for exile, and King Dasharatha felt the same pain as Shravan's parents. And now he understood why the parents cursed him. And the moral of the story is always take care of your parents, grandparents, and other needy people. Another moral of the story is always be careful of your actions and what you say. You may hurt others' feelings. Hari Om.
That was a wonderful story. Okay, so next up is Gopala 15, Rishi Lekalapudi, grade 5, Friday PM, and a different?
Rishi. 5th. Hari Om. On this auspicious occasion of the opening of a new Rama temple in Ayodhya, I'm going to be telling a few stories that give an example of seva from the Ramayana. The first example is Bharata. When Rama goes to exile, Bharata has to rule the kingdom, but he feels like Rama is the one who should be truly ruling the kingdom, and he doesn't feel like he should be ruling the kingdom. So what he does is he takes Rama's padukas and puts them on top of the throne, and then he says that he's only filling out for Rama, and that Rama is the person who is truly ruling the kingdom, and that he is just a servant. Now, the next story is Lakshmana. So in the Ramayana, when everyone is in exile, Lakshmana has to protect Rama and Sita, but since he can't stay awake for a long time because he has to sleep, he gets very, very tired, and he tries his best to stay awake, and he almost falls asleep when the goddess of sleep comes to him. And after the goddess of sleep sees the devotion that Lakshmana has to Rama, she says to Lakshmana that I will give you a boon that you won't need to sleep for the next 14 years, but someone else will need to sleep for you. So Lakshmana then says that my wife will sleep for me, and that's why Lakshmana's wife sleeps for 14 years, and that's also why Lakshmana is able to stay awake and protect Rama throughout the 14 years without needing to sleep. Now after that, when Rama and Sita and Lakshmana go to Shabari's place, so before that happened, Shabari's guru informed her that Rama will be coming to your place later on. And since Shabari was devotion to Rama a lot, she waited eagerly every day for many years, plucking berries in the morning and tasting the good ones while discarding the bad ones. And finally, one day when Rama and Sita and Lakshmana came,
Shabari then eagerly welcomes them and washes their feet lovingly and offers them a place to sit. She then goes and brings out the basket of berries and gives the berries to Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. Lakshmana then points out that the berries are already tasted and that he won't eat it. But Rama says that since they're being offered with lots of devotion, I will still eat them. After they go to Shabari's place, they go and search for the Ravana then kidnaps Sita. So when Jatayu then sees that Ravana is taking Sita away, he goes up to fight Ravana and tries to bring back Sita. But when Jatayu goes and tries to bring back Sita, Ravana fights with Jatayu and he slices off Jatayu's wing, one of his wings. So then Jatayu then falls down to the ground and he stays alive until Rama comes, and then Jatayu tells which direction Ravana went with Sita, and then he dies. Now, and then Rama then goes to find Sita, and after the 14 years in exile, and after they find Sita and come back to Ayodhya, everyone else comes, including Hanuman, so they could do seva. But since Hanuman was doing all the sevas, everyone else felt like they couldn't do any more seva. And when they asked Sita Devi what they can do, Sita Devi also says that even she doesn't feels like she can't do any seva. So they come up with a plan to make a schedule where each of them would have different services to do for Rama, and they leave out Hanuman from doing any services. The next day, Hanuman comes to Rama to massage his leg, but then Lakshmana says that this is assigned to Shatrughna. So Hanuman then feels sad and then thinks for a while, and then he asks Lakshmana, "Are there any services that I can do?" And Lakshmana says, "No, there isn't." He then feels even more upset, and after thinking for even more, he then thinks of an idea. He says to Lakshmana that he will do the yawning service and that he will snap his fingers whenever Rama yawns to protect him from the evil effects. So Lakshmana, thinking nothing's gonna happen, he just leaves Hanuman and tells him that he can do it. So then when night falls and Rama goes to his bedroom to sleep, Hanuman follows him and he watches him, and he was watching him the whole day without anyone else being able to do anything, and they're all worried. So when Hanuman followed Rama into the bedroom, Sita Devi took the opportunity to stop Hanuman from doing any seva and came and reminded him of her domain. So and then Rama also said that you should leave. So he had no choice but to leave. But he thought of a plan and he went to the balcony. And after he went to the balcony, he sat down and started snapping his fingers and chanting Rama's name. Rama sensing that Hanuman is snapping his fingers, he yawns because nothing evil is going to happen to him. But then Hanuman stops for a second, and then at that moment, Rama was yawning. So then his mouth gets locked into a wide open yawn. And when everyone comes into the room, they're all bewildered by what is going on. And when Sage Vashishta came, he found out what was wrong, and he looked around the room for Hanuman, but Hanuman was nowhere to be seen. They somehow located Hanuman from the balcony and brought him. And after Hanuman seeing that Rama was like this, he immediately fell down. And then at that moment, did Rama's mouth close. So back in those days, everyone was competing to do seva, but now a lot of people try to avoid seva. So I hope everyone will try to do seva whenever they can, and to make this society better. Hari Om. Jai Shri Ram.
Nice job. Next up, we have Shasha Bajari, Pre-K Sunday AM, and her story title is Ganesha. It's Krishna 15.
Hari Om, my name is Shasha Bajaram.
tell about Ganesha's Loka. Once upon a time, Parvati told to Nandi, Nandi, don't allow anyone in the home. Then Nandi told, okay. Then Shiva Jeja came, then Nandi allowed Shiva Jeja. Then Parvati taught to make a boy who listens. And she make the doll and pray the doll. Then the child name is Ganesh. And then Parvati told to Ganesh, don't allow anybody to come inside the home. Then Ganesh said, okay. And Ganesh said, don't worry, mom. Then Shiva Jeja came and Shiva Jeja told to Ganesh, let me go inside. But Ganesh didn't allow even the father, Shiva Jeja. And then Shiva Jeja was angry and he danced. And next, Ganesh had then Shiva Jeja cut Ganesh head. Then Parvati told to get the head of the child. Then all the gods came, and one god told the Shiva Jeja, we do not have time to get the head. Then Ganesh Jeja friends went to the jungle and got searching for a elephant head. Then they found the elephant head. They cut the elephant head, and then they got it to Shiva Jeja, and Shiva Jeja said, what is this? Then the god said, we don't have time. Attach it to the child. Then Shiva Jeja attached it to the child. Then he prayed the child, and then Parvati was happy, and Parvati told thank you to Shiva Jeja. Hari Om.
Nice job. Next up we have Madhava 11, Ashvika Shastri, Gate 3, Sunday PM, The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
My name's Ashvika Shastri, and I'm going to be telling The Boy Who Cried Wolf. One day in a small village far, far away, there was a village, and many people lived there. And there was this one boy named Taran. He lived in a nice house with some family members, but he was not one of those boys that just played games all day. He went out all the way to the hills and made sure the sheep got fed. But he was a very mischievous boy. So he sat down and started to think, what should I do while I'm waiting? He thought until he got an idea.
maybe I should pretend that a wolf came. So then he started to shout, "Wolf, wolf!" And every villager came. But they were very confused because there was no wolf. So the boy said, "You just got tricked," and then he started to laugh. All the villagers were very angry and went back to doing work. The next day, the boy came to the spot again. He thought if he did the prank again, they would actually come this time because they wouldn't think it was a joke. So he screamed, "Wolf, wolf!" and every villager came. But they were still very confused because there wasn't any wolf. So the villagers were furious at the boy, so they went back to doing their work. It happened for a week, but there was still no wolf. So one day, the boy wanted to do the idea again, but he thought it would be too obvious. So he started to think by the tree again. But as soon as he started to think, an actual wolf appeared and he screamed, "Wolf, wolf!" But no villager came because they thought it was a trick. So the moral of the story is never prank something on a serious cause. Hariyam.
Good job. Next up is Rishab. Next, Krishna 17. Rishab Godraju, kindergarten, Sunday a.m. And the story is Two Friends.
Hariyam. My name is Rishabh Datta. Once upon a time, there was a tailor that used to be so good at stitching dresses. When he stitched the dresses, there used to be an elephant goes every day to a river to take bath. He stops at tailor's shop, and then the tailor comes out to give him a fruit, and the elephant spent with him to play with some time. One day, the stitcher didn't come out because he was busy stitching dresses, and all the people were saying, "Where's my dress? Or where's my dress?" And then the elephant, when he was going to the river to take a bath, he stopped at tailor's shop, and he called out the tailor. When he called out the tailor, the tailor didn't come out. When the elephant did that again, the tailor was angry when the elephant was disturbing. When the elephant was disturbing, the tailor took the pin and poked it in the elephant's ear. When they poked it in the elephant's ear, the elephant got angry, and then he went to the pond to take a bath. Before, when he's going to the tailor shop again, he went to the muddy pond and sprinkled all them in his trunk and took the muddy water in his trunk, and then he came to the shop. And then he came to the tailor shop. The elephant sprinkled the muddy water on the new dresses and all and the tailor. And then the tailor thought, "Oh, I made him angry." And then the next day, when the tailor came out, the tailor thought he'll come out. But the elephant didn't come. So the moral of the story is, don't hurt your friend's feelings. Hurry on.
Wonderful job. Next up, we have Madhava 14, Anika Shastri, grade 3, Sunday p.m., Jackal and the Elephant. 14.
Hi, my name is Anika, and I'm going to say a story about the jackal and the wolf and the elephant. One day, there's a jackal. His name was Chatura. He loved tricking people. One day, when he thought he was ready to get food for hibernation, he went out and saw a dead elephant, but his teeth were too short to cut through. So he saw a lion, the king of the forest, and the jackal said, "Lion, I killed this elephant for you. Do you want to have a peace offering?" And the lion said, "I only eat what I kill." So the lion went on, and the jackal said, "Maybe I'll trick animals by pretending to guard this." And then a tiger went past, and the jackal asked, "Do you want to cut through this elephant before the lion arrives? I'm guarding it." And the tiger said, "No, I don't want to get in trouble." And then he left. Then a cheetah passed by, and the jackal asked the same question, but the cheetah said yes. And the jackal said that the lion was bathing and he'd come back soon. So the jackal said, "You can eat some until the lion comes back. When the lion comes back, I'll shout that the lion's coming back, and then you can run." So the cheetah ate a lot and opened the skin. And then the jackal tricked him and said that the lion was coming, but the lion was not. And then the cheetah ran. And then Jatayu saw another jackal coming by, and he said, "This is mine, go away." And they got in a fight. But Jatayu won, and then he ate half of the elephant and saved the rest for hibernating.
Nice job. Next up, we have Gopala 12, Dhanush Shastri, grade 5, Sunday PM, Ekalavya. Ekalavya, and that's the last one.
One day, when Arjuna and the Pandavas were training their fighting skills with Dronacharya, their guru, Dronacharya said to Arjuna that he would make Arjuna the best archer in the world. So, Arjuna was training extra hard so he could become the best archer in the world. That day, after he was finished training, they went into the forest to hunt, and they brought a dog along with them. And as Ekalavya was hunting with the dog and the Pandavas with Dronacharya, arrows came from really far away, 7 of them, and it went right through the dog's tongue without hurting it. So Arjuna was really shocked that somebody was better than him and had more archery skills. So Arjuna used his amazing sense of archery and found where the arrow came from, and he went there. And then there he saw a person training, and he asked the person what his name was. That person said his name was Ekalavya, and he was the prince of the forest. And Arjuna asked him who his guru was. And then he said, "My guru is Dronacharya." And Arjuna was astonished that his own teacher was making somebody else better than him. And then Arjuna went up to Dronacharya and said, "Hey, why would you make Ekalavya better than me, even though you said that you would make me the best archer in the world?" So Dronacharya went to Ekalavya and said, "I haven't been teaching you. Why did you say that I was teaching you?" And then Ekalavya said, "One day when I was searching for a teacher,
I saw that you were a really good teacher. So I asked you if you would teach me. And then you said that you couldn't because you were already teaching the Pandavas. So what I did was I made a statue of you, as he pointed to a statue made out of wood of Dronacharya. And I prayed to it, and then Ekalavya said, and I prayed to it every day before I was training, and I prayed to it every day before I started training. And then Dronacharya said, "Oh, because I'm your teacher, you have to give me Guru Dakshine. So I want your thumb, and the thumb of your right hand." And then Ekalavya, without hesitating, chopped off his right thumb and then gave it to Dronacharya. And Dronacharya did this because if he didn't have his thumb, he wouldn't be as good as archery. So Arjuna could become the best archer in the world. And the moral of the story is, keep working hard. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Tanush. That was a wonderful story. And here's the last but not the least for today's session. And Tanush, you can just go, leave the stage. Thank you. So thank you very much to all the judges who have patiently sat down. And, of course, I'm sure they enjoyed all the wonderful stories that the kids have concocted in their mind and scriptless kind of told it in front of you. And thanks to each and every one of you. And of course, it would not be possible without the admin team with Suja and Priya and Namrata and all the others who worked behind the scenes, and a lot of youth volunteers who helped us make this event a great success. Yes, and many of them, and all of them, in fact, played a great MC as well, so we know who to call upon when we need them to come and do the MCing on stage. And thank you, parents. Again, well, it was wonderful to have you all, and you take great effort in bringing these kids in and making them, a wholesome person by putting them on stage and encouraging them to speak publicly. The results will not be announced today because, as you see, it's a long day, even if it's 3-4 hours. It started at 1 o'clock and we are just finishing up. So we will be publishing these results online in our website, and as well it will come around to you as email in the emails that we send out every week. So thank you so much, and appreciate you coming in this weather. Drive safe, and we'll see you next year. Thank you again.